Do you want to see the most delicious salad ever? Come with me and I'll show you. I'm taking 3 large Yukon Gold potatoes and peeling the skin off. After that, I will dice them into about 1/2 inch cubes and put them into a medium-sized soup pan with water that's been salted so that the potatoes have good flavoring. I then boil the potatoes for about 15 to 20 minutes. You want to make sure that the potatoes are completely cooked through, but not breaking apart. Now I'm going to take the chicken cutlets that I have soaking in the refrigerator in cold water. I've had them in there overnight to expedite the thawing process, and I will be putting them into a pan of water that has a 1/2 an onion. I just peeled the onion, cut it in half, and put 1/2 of the onion into the water and adding the chicken to it. Okay, so I think these are definitely done. They're tender. You can see the fork just goes right in. So they're done. I'm going to take them out of the water and strain the water off so they don't continue to cook. I'm boiling the chicken in 1/2 an onion, in with a 1/2 an onion and 2 garlic cloves, just to give it flavor so that it doesn't taste bland. Again, you're just piling, you're layering flavor on top of flavor. So it just makes it so much better. And try to see if you could get a pan that has a thick bottom on the pan, because I find that if it's a pan like the less expensive pans that are just flat, I experienced that at my son's apartment recently. He wanted to make the chicken salad, and so I was making it at his house, and all he had was a tall pan with a single layer pan on the bottom, and it burnt the chicken. I don't know what happened, but the chicken got burnt on the bottom. So I highly recommend a good quality pan that has a thick bottom, and you'll be good to go. It should last you really all your life. A good pan will be really good for you. So highly recommend that. All right, so now we're going to wait for the chicken to boil. It should be another 20 minutes, and I'll come back and check it. I'm just skimming some of the foam off the top, just because I don't want it in my salad. A teaspoon of salt into it, so just to give the, actually I think I put closer to a tablespoon of salt, just under, to flavor the chicken. And as you can see, it's pretty done. So you don't want to overcook it. So I'm going to transfer it into another bowl just to stop it and let it cool down a little bit so that I can, oh, that's my timer, so that I can start shredding it. And that was about 45 minutes that it was cooking. So here is, so this is what I do to shred the chicken. We want to shred all of this chicken, and the easiest way I have found is to get 2 forks and just have at it. Go for it. And the tenders, the chicken cutlets, have like this little cartilage thing in the center, and I just pull it off and throw it away. And then they also sometimes have a little, they have like a thin film of something. I don't know what it is, some ligament or something, and I take that off for sure. So I'll take it off when I see it. And so I used to, when I first started making this many years ago, it took me hours because I would just, you know, take the chicken breast and I would just, you know, by hand shred it like this, but that takes forever. So when I found this system, it just was revolutionary for me. It just made it so much faster because you can see that it takes a little bit of chicken and it takes a while, so why not make it faster? And here's the little, it's a little hard, clear thing that I like to get rid of. You can leave it in if you want to, if you like that chewy, crunchy, but I'm not a fan, so I just take it right off. And that tablespoon of, or less, a little less than a tablespoon of salt in the water didn't make the chicken salty or anything. It just gave it just the mildest flavor of, you know, so that it wasn't just plain chicken. So gave it a little bit more flavor. And I'm just gonna go through and shred all of the chicken and see. So this is the film I was referring to. It's, I don't know what it is, but it's just like this little clear film, and I take that off. And it's only on the cutlets that I find it, so. Okay, so years ago, my mom gave me this really big Tupperware bowl, and I'm sure with the way that prices are now of Tupperware, this thing probably sells for a lot of money, but I wouldn't get rid of it because it's just so handy. I always have a big bowl handy. You know, obviously there's metal ones that work just as well, but I like to do it in this because I can, as soon as I'm done shredding and putting everything together, combining everything, I can put the lid on it and put it right in the refrigerator. So this thing works great. If you can find one, great, but otherwise I'm sure there's other clear plastic containers that you can use. Just find the biggest one you can. Okay, so done shredding, and as you can see, it doesn't make that much chicken. It's great for the salad, but it's not too much. This is how much you get. So really, that isn't that much of the actual chicken that you're going to be using, but what you do next is, I like to put the lettuce, yeah, it has shredded lettuce in it. So I like to cut it about a ½ inch, and you don't want it too thick, so about a ½ inch, not too thin either, because it'll just melt right into the salad. You want the crunch, you want the freshness, you want the flavor, so I like to make it so it's about great for me. I like to bite into that. Okay, and what's funny is that when I would visit my family in Mexico, this was a staple for our family picnics. We'd go up to the mountains, we'd go to a river nearby in the mountains, and or we would go to the beach and just hang out and eat our chicken salad. And you don't need cutlery, you just a spoon or fork to get it out of the bowl and put it on your tostada, which I'll be showing you in a minute, because it's delicious on a crunchy tostada. And I'll show you at the end how we eat it. And it is, honestly, it's my favorite salad. It's so good. It's so fresh for especially around, you know, in the summertime. And it travels well. Yeah, it has mayonnaise. You do need to keep it in the cooler, but it stays crispy for a while, surprisingly, even though it has the lettuce in it with the mayonnaise and everything else you're going to be putting into it. It's still very fresh and just delicious. And it's going to release some water. The lettuce is going to release some of its water. It's okay, just mix it around when you're ready to eat it. And this will also save in the refrigerator for about 2-3 days. It'll keep. Beyond that, it just gets too mushy, but it's still good even after that. So however long it takes you to eat it, it won't take you that long to eat it because it's so good. And just to let you know, what I've been doing is I put these little, I think they're jar openers maybe, that they help you open jars, but they sure work great for under your cutting mat so that it's not roaming around on you on the counter. So these are the potatoes that I cooked earlier and let cool. So I will be adding those to the pan. And earlier I took 2 cans of peas and carrots out and strained them, and I will be putting that into our salad. All right, now the next bit is that we are going to be using jalapenos, the cured jalapenos that are in vinegar. That's what you want. So, and this may look like a lot. Remember, you have a big bowl of vegetables and chicken that you need to season. And so this may look like a lot. It's not that much, and it's not spicy. You can barely taste the spice when you're eating it. I just like to take the little the end of the jalapeno. I like to cut it off. Now they leave it on to give the chilies more flavor in the can. If you didn't know that about chilies, sometimes when we cook with the chilies, we add that little bit to the salsa to give it flavor. It just has a lot of flavor in it. So you don't want the actual stock, you just want that little. Okay, and also use the carrots that are in the can with the jalapenos and the onions. They're delicious. just use everything. And I like to chop it up and put it in with the salad. Okay, that may not be enough, honestly. It's not going to make it too spicy, I promise. It gives it just a really yummy flavor. I'm gonna wash my hands though. I like to wash my hands after I do that, you know, pick the jalapenos up, because even though it's not too spicy with all the mix and everything, I don't like to keep the spice on my hands, because eventually it does start to burn your hands if you don't wash them off. So I just like to get to wash my hands and just move on. So now, okay, so this is about a cup of mayonnaise, and then about 3 heaping tablespoons of mustard. And now you just gently mash it. Well, don't mash it, mix it. And even this bowl isn't going to be big enough, it appears. And what I like to do also is I will use a little bit of sugar. So it's about 2 teaspoons or so of sugar. And if you have relatives that are diabetic, or you just don't want to use sugar, I often make this with like the sugar substitute, so whatever sugar substitute you like. It doesn't really matter. I wouldn't use the one in the pink packet. I don't like the flavor of that one, but the one in the blue or the yellow works great, and that works fine too. But yeah, you just mix it all up, and once you're done mixing it, well, you will be putting it in the refrigerator to let it marry, let all the flavors marry. And it looks like I may need a little bit more mayonnaise. So I'm going to add some more.
Years ago, I was craving this salad, and no one ever gave me the recipe for it, so I had to recreate it from childhood memories.
This is all to taste as well. It's entirely up to you if you want to use a little bit more mustard or a little bit more mayonnaise. It's entirely up to you, or less. You just want to make sure that everything's coated. You don't want any dry bit, and I sometimes will use the juice from the jalapenos as well. Pouring just a little bit of it on top, but I've found that makes it a little too wet down at the bottom when you want to keep eating it afterwards. It just tends to get a little too wet. So I will put that on top of my tostada at the end, like when I'm serving it. Going to eat it, I will pour some jalapeno juice on top, or have some of the jalapenos to munch on beside it, because they are so good. So anyway, we'll keep mixing. I want to make sure that there's no dry bits. And I found some more dried chicken at the bottom. You don't want that. So I think I used about 1.5 cups of mayonnaise for this amount. Now, of course, if you're using less, you're going to want to use less. It's just all proportionate to what you're making, how much you're making. I'll be testing this for flavor. I want to make sure that I have plenty of jalapenos in there. So this is a very quick way of letting you know how to make tostadas. It really makes a difference. Homemade tostadas just taste better than the ones you can buy at the store. I don't know, I don't know why. They just taste better. So what I like to do is to put, I'm heating some oil in the pan, and you can see it's about a quarter, maybe a half inch high, and I think I added a little too much, but you want you know, a little bit of oil in the pan, so do maybe a half inch from the bottom, so not from the top, from the bottom of the pan. So it's a shallow oil, but I'm going to just dip the tostadas in, and you can see they start bubbling right away. Try not to have the heat up too much once the oil is heated, because you don't want your tortilla to burn right away. So you're going to just kind of twirl it around, let it cook for a little bit, and then you'll flip it. You'll turn it over just to let it start cooking on the other side. And steam will accumulate at the bottom of it because it's releasing all its moisture. Just be careful that you are you're not in the way of the steam, because you don't want to get burnt. But let it cook. And so what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, is maybe a light brown color, because once you take it off the pan, off the oil, it's going to continue cooking just a little bit. So you don't want it to burn, you just want it to get that really good crunch. And what I have is a plate with paper towel on top, just to absorb the excess oil. And we'll just continue doing this. Now, if you are in a rush, again, buy a bag of chips, you know, tortilla chips from the store. They, you know, don't get you can get the salted one or lightly salted, which will be perfectly fine. I wouldn't recommend the ones that have cheese flavoring. It just throws off the flavor of the salad too much. So get the plain ones. But if you have the time, try this. Try making them like this. See what you think. See what your family thinks. Whenever I make them from scratch like this, they are gone. Not only will my family be eating it with the salad, but they'll munch on it all evening long afterwards, until they're gone. So it makes a difference. Try it. See what you think. Okay, so you see how this is kind of a light brown color? That's about the time you want to take it out. You don't want it to be a little too soon, because then it'll just bend. It's not going to have that crunch. But you want it to be, yeah, like this light brown, like that. And then I like to put just the tiniest little bit of, this is popcorn salt. So it's like super fine salt. So, time for dinner, and I'm going to serve myself up some of the chicken salad on one of the tostadas that I made. And yummy. Okay. And so now I'm going to get some of the jalapeno juice and some of the jalapenos and pour over my tostada because I love this stuff. And maybe one of those. So here it goes. It's messy. No getting over that. But it's oh so good. It's so good. You gotta try it. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear what you think about the food. If you really like it, try it. Let me know. I'm really curious to find out if people want to try this. It's so good. If you find my videos entertaining and educational, please hit the subscribe button and press the like button and click the bell, and that'll let you know when I have when I've uploaded a new video. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoy.